goals, some great riders and some great bikes to get away. Got to love it. Post Classics with Steve and the team at F1 Engineering, and seeing what's going on. A reflection. Dennis, you've been keeping an eye on things?
Yeah, it looks like Mark Van Wetten's got the jump start. Not jump start, sorry, he got the start. Unfortunately, I missed. I think we've got in second place 88 Glenn Lowy, followed by 43 Kerry Chapman.
All right, so Mark Hatton's the man. We've been watching Mark and his riding. Good performance from him. John Louis, Kerry, Craig, John, Craig Peebles out there. Nigel Lennox, as Dennis updated before, the abseiler, high access ropes man, abseiler extraordinaire. Just he can swing hundreds of meters above the ground. Oh, it's an art in itself. Hey, I've done it, I can do it, but I tell you what, I wouldn't exactly say I'm easing. It's more of a sort of a thrill and a buzz and something that you might do. I did a little bit of rigging, and one of the jobs that I had, I was fine with that because you were on a platform, but actually just hanging from a rope, literally in a harness, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, no, as I say, he's been to the top of right to the top of the Sky Tower. I'm not sure whether he actually changed bulbs, but no, Nigel, he most probably stood up on top and had a look around.
All right, here we go. Let's look out for it. This is the world of post-classic, exactly as the name says, the post-classic era and the advent of these amazing motorcycles when the revolution really started. So eras, of course, from the 70s through 80s and stopping at 89. And many of these bikes are literally on that doorstep models of 1988 and 1989. Little TZR 250s, I tell you what, you're going to get absolutely smoked out there by some of the bigger bikes. But hey, on Taupo on a day like today, and you're a good rider, and a little TZR 250, a great little two-stroke twin, you're going to really start to see how well those bikes went, and you wouldn't be too far off the door of some of our bigger boys. In fact, 2 seniors and then a junior. So Kerry, for example, on one of those little TZR, he's in 3rd place of a field of 7, and some of those bigger bikes are actually behind him. So the old story, put a good rider on any bike can be a winner.
Yeah, sure, and I see that they've now extended the post-classics out to pre-95.
Oh, okay. Good work, yeah. But there will obviously be an opportunity to see some of those bikes in a elite class. We started, once the 90s came, we certainly did see some technology improvements for sure, and maybe they show that you will be sort of like an up to 88, 89, and then a post of that as well. So we'll call them a post-classic maybe.
Yeah, well, as I say, it will be a class of its own. 95, then you'll have the 88, and then we do have a lower class as well.
82s.
82s, yeah. So they'll actually be running 3. Mind you, they'll most probably be racing together, but they'll be running in 3 different classes.
I'll tell you what, one of the most common sense situations I've heard in the last couple of years now, Dennis, is the amalgamation of the post-classic with the classic. The classic era, well, it was coming to its ultimate, and that is that guys that were racing bikes from the 60s that then wanted to keep those bikes and carry on racing, unfortunately, are of an age now which they can't do. So that was actually a dying club, and I'm not saying that negatively, but it just literally was, because there's less people around with those bikes. So great to see them. There's some younger blood, people that are still enthusiastic about it. So what a great move to see those combined. So the likes of the festival at Pukekohe has now become an amazing event because it's incorporating all of those, the best of the best of. So the best of classic and post-classic together. I love what they've done. Take a bow.
I can't agree with you more. I actually attended the New Zealand Classic Motorcycle Racing Register AGM, and this was the first time that they'd actually combined the classics with the post-classics, and it was great. They've all become one club. Both of them were struggling to fill fields and things like that. By now, having they can condense their program, and as you said, the festival was a great event. And also, I'll take my hat off to the post-classics. They actually had something like $5,000 or something left over in their bank account, and they went out and they bought for the Classic Festival full wet weather gear for the Orange Army.
Oh, lovely.
So the Orange Army now have got jackets and trousers, wet weather gear at all post-classic classic meetings.
Well done.
So that was what was left over from the old post-classic when they amalgamated with the New Zealand Classic Motorcycle Racing Register.
Lovely. Good, nice story. Thank you, Dennis. Good to hear that. Back to our racing at the moment and the amalgamation of the junior and senior. It looks, of course, they're all starting together, which is what they should do. The fact that our juniors are in there, Kerry and Craig, and they're fighting it out. But it's Mark and Jan. They're putting on the all-round good show up there. Tell you what, nothing between them. Mark Hatton, John Louis, and look at that, bang, bang. And I'm talking about the fact that the way they flip-flop through the S-bend and coming around here on that beautiful, lovely little left-hand sweeper, and then coming along the front straight here, back under the mxt.co.nz recording, your motocross and track timing, mxt.co.nz. Oh, there we go, a little bit of a lock-up going down there. You can see that. Yeah, look at that, just got the bike back under control. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't say there's any club round between those two guys. Dennis, you'd think there was another sheep station or a world title on the line. That was tight.
Yeah, they certainly are. No quarter driven, and you know, this is what we've come to watch, and it's only a club day, and yet that's still, as you say.
Once the racing mist comes down, as they say, it's all go. It doesn't matter what sort of day. It's a bit like Connor yesterday saying that how he was out there on a ride day, and just all of a sudden he started to feel that he wanted to go racing. He had to stop himself because he just still wanted to go faster and faster. And on his recovery from a head knock, doing the right thing by stepping some time off the bike. Yes, went out on a ride and just had a session to help Hamish and show him the lines. But when it came down to it, when that visor went down, he wanted to go racing. So good self-control, because these guys, no matter what the event, still want to give of their best. Kawasaki Road Racing Series, folks, coming at you through this event, round number 1, again on the 18th of August, moving to Hampton down south of Auckland, and the final back here, Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park, Talbot, on the Sunday the 8th of September. We're racing, hope you are as well. Nothing between them. In fact, the margin 0.24, less than a quarter of 1 second down there with Mark Hatton.
We're into the last lap as well.
Thank you. All right, Kerry Chapman on that little TZR 250 goes past the lone little 250, and then we look out as well for Craig Green to go through. Now Craig's junior is junior, he's on a 600 down there, so he will be one of those to pick up. So interesting fact there, you got Mark on the senior bike, and Jan as well on a senior bike, and the others are junior down to John Roper on a senior, and he's the man from Pew Pew in the beautiful King Country on the 1989 Kawasaki ZX10, courtesy of Advantage Engineering and Liz. And I think the important one there is Liz. That won't be Advantage Engineering might help him with the bike, but to help him as a rider, it will be Liz. Thank you, Liz. Hope you're enjoying your weekend here with us, and thanks for letting John go racing.
Next year will be your turn.
Yeah, well, why not? Here we are, these two guys going for it. The checkered flag is beautifully waved here, and well done. And the margin was 2.4 last time. It's come out at 0.333 all the way, 1/3 of 1 second, nothing there. And well done to Mark. So I don't know whether Jan actually ever got his wheel in front. He got so close so many times. I don't know whether there was a point where he ever did have his wheel in front. I think Mark had it, but when you're only going to win by 1/3 of 1 second, it's almost the kind of battle you think that maybe it's a tussle and a to and a fro and a chop and change, and one going to 2 and 2 back to 1, that kind of stuff. But I think Mark held the advantage all the time, so Jan must have been frustrated with that, because when you're that close but you can't quite get there.
Yeah, can't agree with it more, but they'll be enjoying it, and hopefully they have a beer together at the end of the meeting.
Here indeed. So there we go, folks. That's a wrap of round number 2 today, round number 2. So our third round coming up next. Be a little bit of a breathing space between these ones, but we'll be back courtesy of Ctas Live and your friends, the Hamilton Motorcycle Club and the Kawasaki Road Race Series. Kawasaki, do you want a bike for the kids? What about it? The little KLX range, man, 110s, 140s, fantastic bikes for young kids. And you sort of think of an age, but you know, different kids are different sizes, different maturity, and no two are ever the same. But you know, anything from around that 5 or 6 years of age, just for kids to have a love of a bike. In my shop last week, and here's a young kid come in. He's only got to be 3, but man, he knew everything about a motorcycle. Mum would put him up on the bike and he just reached straight over and grabbed the throttle and turned it. Never ridden one in his life, but he knew exactly what to do. And it brings a huge smile to my face, and I get more pleasure out of selling bikes to parents that are going to put kids on them than I do the parents buying bikes for themselves. So I think our future's in good hands when kids love motorcycling.